Hi, in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to bring in some graphics, these pumpkins and this skeleton, into this Halloween themed scrapbook page that we made last week in our last tutorial. So I have here a picture of the pumpkins. You can see it's nothing special. I just hung up a towel in the background just to give it a plain color background. It's easier to cut your graphics out if there's a plain background like that. So in order to cut those out, we're going to use a layer mask. And you want to select this tool up here. In my case, it's the quick selection tool. It could be any one of these tools down here. We're going to use the quick selection tool, and we will just start drawing around our subject. Where I'm going to go ahead and select the stump that these pumpkins are sitting on. I'm just going to go around the outside. You can see that it's selecting the pumpkins pretty good. I want these stems. Now I probably should have used a white towel on this because the blue is not really contrasty enough with those green stems. A red towel probably wouldn't work as well with the orange pumpkins, but we'll make it work. Alright, I think I've got it. Let's enlarge that a little bit. You can hit Command and the plus sign, or Control on the plus sign if you're on a PC, and then use your space bar to get the hand tool, and you can just kind of scroll around this way and drag it around and get where you want it. Now, to subtract from a selection, you'll hold down the Alt or the Option, and to add to a selection, you hold down the Shift key. So we can see that we've selected a little too much right here, so let's hold down the Option or the Alt and go up into this area right here, and you just want to kind of work around it, going back and forth. Let's make our brush a little bit smaller. Hold down the Shift key and see if we can get that little area right there. And you just want to kind of go back and forth from the Alt or Option and the Shift to add to or subtract to your selection. And you want to get it fairly close, but it doesn't need to be perfect, because we're going to take this into Refine Edge to fix this. You can see when I hit the Shift key, you get the little plus inside the cursor, and if you hold down the Option or the Alt, you get the little minus inside the cursor. So just kind of go around this, and let's just touch it up a little bit. I'm not going to worry too much about that right there. We can get rid of that in Refine Edge. Let's just go around this stump. Looks like we need a little bit more here in this stump. Right down that edge. I think that'll be okay. And down this edge right here. Let's go see what it looks like on the other side. That looks pretty good. Right there's bad. Let's hold down the Option or the Alt. Get rid of that. It's poking out. Okay. And around the pumpkin, around that stem looks alright. Just get rid of that little teeny bit right there. Okay, I think that will do it. Alright. Command or Control and the minus sign will take it back down, or Command or Control and the 0 will just make it fit in your window. Alright, let's click on Refine Edge. Let's use this brush right here and just clean up a little bit. That looks good. Let's clean up right here. That looks good. And there. Okay, I think that looks good. Now you want to have this shift edge towards the minus side a little bit, not too much. If it's not, if it's on the positive side, you can see that shifts that selection out a little bit. So you want to have that minus, about -4 or somewhere right in there is fine. Let's go Let's go -4. Feather. You want it to feather just a little bit or it'll look like it's cut out with scissors when you move it into your other artwork. So 1 pixel is fine there. Decontaminate colors, it should be checked. And we want it to go to a new layer with a layer mask. So just click OK. And there it is. Now with the layer mask you can see that the black conceals and the white reveals. So the black is hiding all that layer. The white is revealing what we want. So let's go back to our scrapbook page. Let's get rid of this stuff that I already brought in. Let's get rid of the pumpkins and let's get rid of the skeleton because we're going to bring them in. Okay, let's go down to the photo bin. Let's just drag that in to our scrapbook page. It's a little big, so hit Command T or Control T if you're on a PC and we'll size it down a little bit. Maybe like that, and let's move it down to the bottom. And it looks like it's a little bit crooked. Let's rotate it just a little bit. Just move your cursor up to the corner and you see you get the curved double arrow. Just click and drag and that will rotate it. And just make that a little bit straighter and click the check mark and we're good. Alright, let's do the same with the skeleton. Let's go to the skeleton. The blue door is contrasting enough with the skeleton that it should be easy enough to cut him out. So let's go ahead and do the layer mask the same way. We're going to grab this tool right here, which we're still there. Only this time we're just going to click on Select Subject. And I think Photoshop will do a pretty good job. It did a pretty good job. It missed some right there, but I think Refine Edge will be able to clean that up because it's such a good contrasty color. So just click on Refine Edge and get that brush right there. And we'll just start painting in here where you see that blue. And Photoshop should get rid of that blue for us. We just keep painting around in there and it's working. And a little bit down here on his leg and his foot. A little bit right there on his knee. And I don't know what that is up there, but let's see if it'll get rid of it. Yep. Okay, that looks good. We've got our -4, we've got our feather, new layer with a layer mask. Click OK. And there he is cut out of the background. Now he's darker on the top than he is on the bottom because he was under my porch. So the roof of the porch was giving him a little bit of shadow up there at the top. So we need to fix that. We can do that with an adjustment layer. So up here, this is the adjustment layer icon. Click on that. And we'll go to brightness contrast. And we'll just brighten him up a little bit. Now we don't care about his legs. All we want is his face and maybe part of his ribs. Maybe like that. Now we're going to use this layer mask to mask out the bottom part of that adjustment layer. So we're going to use the gradient tool for that. So we'll start to draw right here. And there he is. He looks pretty much the same from the top to the bottom. Now you can see there's some color cast to it. He's got a little yellow here. You can still see a little bit of blue showing through around him. Let's clean that up by doing another adjustment layer. Use saturation. We'll just desaturate the whole thing and make him completely black and white. And that's good. Alright, now we need to bring him into our scrapbook page. So let's go to our scrapbook page. Come down here to the photo bin. There's our skeleton right there. Let's bring him up and drop him right into our scrapbook page. Let's move him. Select the move tool and just drag him over. And let's Make him a little smaller. Command T or Control T. Get the handles. Drag it down. Those little squares on the corners are called handles. Let's move him back up. Okay, something like that. Let's hit the check mark. And you can see that he's behind our orange swirl. So we want to bring him up above the swirls, but behind the 2020. So just click on that layer and drag it up. And when you see the line between the layers get dark and thick, that's where we want to drop it. We want to make sure we're behind the 2020, but above the swirl. So we can just drop it anywhere right in there. And there you go. Now he's a little bit bright, and we know that the eye usually goes to the brightest part of the picture. Now I don't want the eye to go to him. I want the eye to go to the children. I want to darken him down just a little bit so he's not quite so bright. So we do that by opacity. Just make sure that layer's selected. Go up here to opacity and just bring it down a little bit. So just so he's not quite so bright. And there you go. So there's the tutorial for today. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.